This the War Report coming live every Tuesday at 7 with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. And the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers and hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out SmackDowns, follow on IG. Plus, it's sponsored by Tag Me a Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here. No safe space, now listen in. Time to hear from some of the greats.
Watch me.
Welcome everybody to another edition of the War Report After Dark. Well, Liv and Raquel have done it again, folks. Your new women's tag champions as of Raw last night. But we have so much to break down. We have the Chamber upon us this Saturday. We got to talk about The Rock and his return to SmackDown. And
spoiler
of
there
course,
in the comments.
where are we got comments here?
901.
Yeah, I know. It's been advertised. I'm taping it. I'm going to watch it later. But that's been advertised for a while. But anyway, welcome everybody to another
I thought
edition.
it was like one of those Ricky Stark spoilers.
No, they advertised it last week, and then they even showed a package of like them entering the building and like all this shit. So, I mean, it's not like it was a big surprise.
Okay.
But first time they're back and representing TNA, which is, in fact, Moose defended the X Division title against Brian Pillman's kid.
And he's going and challenging the
Obafemi.
Yeah, now he's challenging Obafemi.
Which, that's not too shabby.
No.
Moose and Obafemi.
Should be good. I saw a thing that said, what's up, man? All right.
I was going to say, before we dive all the way in, Dave Roska, good friend over at YouTube, Vince McMahon is starting a new wrestling company. So that's not necessarily accurate. There have been rumblings about this for quite a while now. I did see something like he's in talks with Fox about doing something. But I don't know. Have you heard any more about this, Vince?
I saw that, what's his name? Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful reached out to representatives from Fox to confirm or deny, and Fox says that they are not involved. Now, we hear that in wrestling a lot. I'm not actually injured, and I am. I'm not involved, and I actually am. I'm not coming out at the Royal Rumble, but I'm actually coming out at the Royal Rumble. So I don't know. If I had to put money on it right now, I'd say Vince McMahon is planning something. He had a meeting with Fox. Somebody heard about it and spread the rumor that Fox was on board. But I think he's shopping it around right now. He's trying to find somebody that will give him the time, because he could go start up a wrestling company all he wants. If he doesn't have, it's like WCW. Eric Bischoff was going to buy it and they didn't have a time slot, so there was no reason to buy it. If he can't get a time slot, there's no reason to run a fucking wrestling company.
Right. So we'll have to see. Then David Roska, Tiffany Stratton, and Trish Stratus time. I'm excited to see those two together. And we'll get into that as we dive into the Chamber. Trish Stratus versus Chelsea Green for the U.S. Women's Champion at WrestleMania 41. I mean, I'm not against the idea, but Trish has to be committed to being back for another run, and I don't know that she's doing that. It's possible.
Somebody who of the modern or the current roster could be the challenger for the U.S. title? who would be available and interesting?
And then David has a request for you, Vince. Can you type in the name that you see on the screen? Because I'm not even going to try on your Chrome and figure out who he is.
It looks like he was the president of Romania until 1989. And I'm not quite sure. Like, I'm trying to look for his wrestling achievements. and I'm not seeing. Maybe he was a good catch wrestler in his day or something. I'm not. I'm just seeing that some people considered him a dictator. There was a revolution in 1989. Seems like he was not very well liked. Died. Oh boy, I bet you. Yeah, he was executed. That's nice. Hey, David, I really want to thank you for enlightening us on the Communist Party of Romania and what happens to them. I guess I don't know why. I can only hazard. I don't know. I can make no assumptions on why you wanted me to look that up. I was all excited to learn something about either a new gymnast or a hockey player based on the name, or maybe like a wrestler from Canada that I didn't know. No, it's just a guy.
It pertains nothing to the podcast. Thank you for your contribution, David Ruska.
Absolutely. That was like a commercial break.
All right. We got to get right into it because, again, we do have a lot to cover, and we got to break this down. So I always get very excited when The Rock is going to return. Very rarely am I ever disappointed when The Rock comes back, even if he just cuts a promo. I got to tell you, this return on SmackDown and the version of The Rock that we got was very confusing.
Yep.
He was a face, but then a heel, then a face again, then a heel. Like, he flip-flopped about 10 to 15 times in one promo. Like, if you're going to be asshole Rock, you don't get out of the ring and get a phone and give it back to the fan because he dropped it. Like, they have ringside security that can do that shit. Or, so it was very weird. It's like, are we getting the character, the final boss? Are we getting Dwayne Johnson? Like, it was just very confusing. And then I kind of got like a corporate Vince McMahon feel, like, I want your soul, like you're going to be my corporate champion kind of thing to Cody. Right. So that I could probably get behind depending on where it goes, and that could potentially be a Cody heel turn. Is that where we're headed? I personally think Cody's going to say, fuck you.
Right, yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? And then we'll see what happens at the Chamber. But that was a very bizarre Rock segment.
So I digested it a little bit more because, like I told you, I really wasn't liking it. I wasn't understanding where it was going. Honestly, the whole thing was weird. The fact that Cody gave the better promo out of the two is weird in itself. I don't think I've ever said that. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I've ever said that with The Rock or anybody.
Just the way you said it. The way Cody cut a better promo than The Rock.
Yeah, like that's weird in itself if you think about it. But like for me, this goes a little deeper. And by deeper, I'm gonna involve more wrestling in the storytelling. There's a favor owed to a very high profile wrestler that right now we are getting what I believe is a facade with thinking John Cena's road to a 17th championship is WrestleMania, but we tend to forget his career is going to end like in December or some shit.
Right.
So we have a lot of time with the smoke and mirrors of the 17th championship being in WrestleMania. I'm a big believer of WrestleMania belongs to guys that have been there through the year wrestling, unless it's like a Rock or something like that. But he's not wrestling. So the favor owed is from Paul Heyman to a guy named CM Punk. Cody Rhodes, on his road, obviously as the face he is, will deny and say he does not want his soul taken by The Rock, as weird as that sounds.
If you smell what The Rock is cooking, I want your soul.
The Rock will not stop looking for a soul taker.
Did someone say soul taker?
He will land CM Punk taking that job. CM Punk and Seth Rollins will be the last two in the chamber. And Roman Reigns will help Paul Heyman help CM Punk get to a WrestleMania main event. Hence a Rollins and Roman Reigns match at WrestleMania.
All right, now I want to stop you for a minute because we're going to have to do a lot of jumping around with Elimination Chamber and talks of SmackDown and Raw because I was giving this a lot of thought too. And after what just happened on Raw. I don't see Punk winning the Chamber. I honestly think we're at a point where they're setting up CM Punk versus Logan Paul. To the point where I can almost see Logan Paul being the one that pins CM Punk in the Chamber. And that sets up their match at Mania, where obviously Punk would go over Logan Paul. But I'm starting to think that way, which then would leave Drew McIntyre or Seth Rollins. And then I would go with Seth Rollins.
What if a conflicted John Cena wins the Elimination Chamber with the help of The Rock to earn his title match? He wins the championship at WrestleMania and then has a change of heart and doesn't want to be The Rock's corporate champion, and then big blow off with The Rock at like SummerSlam or something.
I don't mind it.
I mean, I'm not against that.
But
there's too many variables right now.
Right. Now, I guess they could just not mention it and leave it alone and leave it as like a little breadcrumb, but has CM Punk's favor to Paul Heyman come up since the initial I owe you one or whatever? You know what I mean? Has it been brought up again? Like, has it been refreshed in the memory?
I don't know. David Rosca, The Rock wants to be inside the men's elimination chamber. I didn't get that from that. There's no reason for The Rock to be in it because he can't be at Mania.
And he doesn't need to be in it because he's The Rock and he can just get a title match.
Right. He can pull a John Cena and just call his shot.
For sure.
You know.
Yeah, and unfortunately that promo, the feedback I think Dave Meltzer got from somebody internally was The Rock turned more times in that promo than Big Show did his entire career.
And that was a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
Big Show was turning every other week.
It's the Big Show.
It was a very strange promo. It was so weird. You know, like he's thanking the crowd 1 minute and then telling them he's going to slap the syphilis off their face. Like, which was great, but weird. Like, you got to choose a side.
But
like,
isn't that The Rock? I believe that this might be another evolution of him owning this persona of the boss, that he literally could do whatever the hell he wants, and
he was very McMahonish,
very
in a lot of ways.
Turning into that, I see him turning into that.
Part of me wonders, and it could be intentional or it could be not, is that realistically there are a lot of things in The Rock's life that he can be more sensitive to his public opinion now. Like when you're just a WWE guy, it doesn't matter if you turn heel or babyface or if the crowd likes you or doesn't like you or whatever. When you're a guy that's literally the biggest celebrity in the world now, turning all the way heel, like even the final boss was a heel, but really wasn't, like he was an entertaining heel. Like he can't, The Rock in real life has to tiptoe a very fine line of being a heel, but not making people not want to go watch Moana 2 because The Rock's a bad guy. Like he's just got that. He's got that shit in his brain. He's like, well, they aren't gonna buy my Terramana tequila and all this shit if I'm a bad guy. And like he has to be a babyface, but he needs to be a heel. So he's like, he's like doing both, which is The Rock for sure, because he could compliment you in one breath and insult you in the next, and that was always kind of his thing. But this is like, this is a whole different ball of wax. It's a whole different situation because The Rock is so famous now.
It was so weird.
This is billionaire Rock.
Right. And this is, he's not the CEO, but he's on the board or whatever. He's an executive. Like there's a lot of real life things at play. And again, if they're integrating that and it ends up making sense, that's great. But the first, the first swing at it was not so hot.
Yeah, it was just very strange.
It was very boring of a
27 or 28 minutes from what I hear.
Jesus. You didn't see it?
No way. Once I heard it was 27 minutes, I'm like, give me the highlights. I don't need the whole thing.
Touche.
You were actually better off with the highlights.
Well, that's the thing. It probably made more sense that way. But like, yeah, I'm not gonna say, like, that's cool. Pick up the guy's phone or whatever. But yeah, that's like, stop the show, stop the promo to do a thing, which is cool. But like, I can imagine that's like the fucking you know the train's going and you just pull that big, comically large emergency brake like on Conan O'Brien. You just and like the whole train just to get a guy's phone off the ground. Like that's such a momentum killer. I don't know how it came off on the air, but it feels like a momentum killer.
It was very weird. Like it really like there was not one positive thing I saw right after it. Dave Abbey, the only thing that could make Cody remotely interesting would be if he accepts and goes full Homelander.
He's not going to do that.
That would be great, though.
That would be great.
Cody's
It's the only way I would like Cody.
Hey, there's Mitch.
Hey, Mitch.
I'm driving, so I don't know if there's too much road noise, so I've been quiet.
Oh, you're good.
You're good,
That's
bro.
all
Not
right.
bad.
Yeah, only a little bit. Yeah, I don't think he's going to do that only because that was the big bugaboo in AEW was he really wanted to be a babyface.
He didn't want to go heel.
Yeah, he didn't want to go heel, and the crowd wasn't going along. Because here's the thing: if the crowd goes along with you, you're a babyface, even if you're a heel. It's happened to Edge. It happened to a lot of guys. It happened to The Rock. So if you're a heel and then they start cheering for you, absolutely, dude. Yeah, there's an argument to be made that you could turn babyface. But the crowd in AEW at the time, Cody set himself up as a top guy and then put everybody over for a little while and then had a title and didn't put over. It was just a weird run. Cody had a weird run in AEW. I'll be fair to admit with ups and downs. And but the big sticking point was turning heel at the end. He didn't want to do it. He left. And I just think he runs everything by like one of those public relations, like one of those public image company. Like he hired one of those companies to do like surveys with people and like he'll send them promos and like they'll have like 30 regular people take a survey on what to do, what they thought of it and all that stuff. And I just think he's like, he's looking at it like the YouTube algorithm. He's like, algorithmically, it doesn't make sense for me to turn heel right now. It's like, I just think he's got himself convinced that he's literally like the next Dusty Rhodes, big baby face, never needed to turn heel guy, and he's not. And FYI, Cody, your dad was heel a lot. Your dad turned heel, and he was a great heel. So, like, I don't know. Get with it, man.
So basically, if Cody turns heel, he's gonna leave the company. Please turn him heel. Bye, Cody.
Oh, he's not going to leave the company.
He'll leave the company if he didn't turn. He would just leave.
Hey, Mitch, I have an idea. You should be Cody Rhodes for Halloween.
I can do that.
Out of all of us, he's the one who could do it.
So, Mitch, how did you feel about the Rock promo?
Well, The Rock. It was just it was strange. You guys kind of all hit the point. Like, again, I haven't been watching for too long, but I've never seen somebody flip flop so many times, other than watching that Vince McMahon special that they had on Netflix, like showing him doing everything, and like he had times where he was doing that, but he was the owner. He could do whatever the hell he wanted, and I guess The Rock feels like because he's The Rock, it doesn't really matter what he does. Like people are going to be behind him regardless, even if it is weird, because he's The Rock.
That's fair.
And I just want to see someone slap Cody again.
I mean, look, we are talking wrestling world, right? But in reality, he is literally the most followed man on like X or Instagram or whatever the hell it is.
The Rock is legitimately in the top 5 most famous people in the world.
Like literally,
you could go to the middle of the fucking desert and pull out a picture of him and go, Rocky, you know what I mean? Like, they just know who the fucking guy is.
100%. Like, he's known more than some presidents in their own country. You know what I'm saying?
Who's this Zelensky? I don't know who Zelensky is. I know it's The Rock.
Exactly. Like, I know, they probably know The Rock more than Zelensky in his own country.
Oh, that's funny. So, let's shift a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys notice how Jacob was giving the orders? Jacob's the one that was standing in the middle during the entrance. Solo's the one that cut the promo backstage by cutting off Solo and then telling the production truck to hit his music. It's happening.
It's coming, man. It's coming.
It's
It's
coming.
happening.
It's here. Like, what
Yeah,
do
but I'm
you-
saying it's WrestleMania, baby.
Oh, the match. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Jacob versus Solo.
Man, I can't wait for them
Jake's
to super
gonna
kick
murder
each other.
What was
will
that,
murder.
Mitch?
Jacob's gonna murder him.
Yes.
100%. 100%.
He's unstoppable.
Yes.
He's literally unstoppable. And this is another guy. When the crowd cheers you, you're a babyface. Jacob Fatu, biggest heel in the business, and should still, by all of the things he's done, he's still not a great guy. And
And gets cheered
the
out of
crowd
the
loves
building.
him. So fuck
Yeah.
it. Like, you're a babyface. It just, some things work. When a guy gets his name chanted over the world champion's name on the main event segment of your show, you got to go all in on this guy. Get him a good win at WrestleMania, and fucking let's put the belt on him by SummerSlam. Get him a Money in the Bank briefcase, something. He needs by SummerSlam or at SummerSlam. He should be champion.
Yada mean? Like he says, yada mean? What the fuck he says? I love it.
It's
Imagine
like
the
very.
Carnage and Money in the Bank with him with ladders and shit. Jesus.
Can you imagine Money in the Bank if him and Penta are in that match?
Oh, it will be in that. That's like a car crash with two 18-wheelers.
That would be amazing. Let me tell you too, boy did Penta shine last night in that triple threat with Pete Dunne and Ludwig Kaiser.
Yeah,
And it was perfect because he took the loss without getting pinned. But there were some spots that just were perfect for Penta. Like doing the Mexican Destroyer off Ludwig Kaiser's back. Like just crazy shit. It was just, that match was probably the match of the night on SmackDown for sure. Or Raw.
Yeah, the guy Penta has always been a fucking main event level guy. That's why he was a main event singles guy and a champion in Lucha Underground. I believe he was an MLW champion. He was definitely a champion, either CMLL or AAA or probably both. When he got to AEW, I think there was him and Phoenix. They're brothers. They want to be, from what you can tell, they want to work together. They want to be a tag team. And then with this contract thing, Penta comes in 6 months earlier, however long it's going to be. He came in way earlier than Phoenix and has established himself as a singles guy. And I think that is the best possible move for Penta. No knock on Phoenix. He's a great singles guy either.
And now I'm also hearing that he's just about up. Are you hearing that too?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was. When did
He'll still have 90 days,
down?
I would imagine, from that time.
If it goes up, I think when that's up, it might just.
Oh, the contract
might
ups,
just
and then
be
he
up.
can just go, right?
Because this was all started in November, 1 month, 3 months. Yeah, I mean he could be done in a month or two. Like I don't think he's coming around before WrestleMania, but I think it's an opportunity for both of them. I think Penta has established himself as a singles guy, and he is over, and he is in that hunt for an IC US championship right in that range there, with the
but
potential
what,
to be
though?
a main event guy.
But he's and as great as he is single, he's even that much better with his brother. You know, like the matches, the things that they'll do, it'll be another side of Penta that the WWE universe may not be accustomed to yet. So it would bring a whole different light on Penta in that situation too, and his brother, because Phoenix does some crazy shit.
Amazing, yeah, and they both bring different things to the table because Penta's more of a heavyweight, Phoenix is more of a cruiserweight, light heavyweight, not quite as big, but they both do lucha moves, but Phoenix is a little more nimble. Like there's a lot to love about both of them. You hope they don't just get stuck as, they're fighting in a fucking, Cleveland street fight against DIY 3 Fridays a week or whatever. Like nobody wants that, it has to be like, if they're serious about Penta and Phoenix as a tag team, they have to get more serious about the tag team division as a whole.
I, I'm a believer, unfortunately, because of Penta's lack of English.
Yeah.
And when you have a belt, your number one job when you have a belt is really not wrestling. If you think about it, it's cutting a damn promo. Because you really don't wrestle every week per se. Your prime real estate, right? So I feel once they put that title on him, this popularity, unfortunately, we have with Penta, as great as he is in a ring, will tend to fade. Because the disconnect
I don't know.
I believe the disconnect would happen. So I believe when that happens is when they will make a tag team with his brother and revamp his credit. Again, that's what I think, based on what I've seen on WWE. Because remember, it's not AEW fans, it's WWE fans. And
I know, but I feel like Penta's a different beast. I don't know.
I think only time will tell, but I'm just talking about based on history and trajectory, being a fan. Tell me a guy that had an issue cutting a promo because of the language barrier and succeeded.
The Great Khali.
Dave
I didn't
Abbey,
watch
am I
him
the
in
only
that
one that
time.
thinks
Kidding.
this is, or all mid-card titles getting really stale except for Chelsea? He's not wrong. I mean, Shinsuke hasn't done really much. I mean, it looks like
Yeah.
they're doing him LA Knight again. Okay.
I think all not that it's
Bronson Reed, though, I think isn't getting stale. Like, he's actively doing shit.
Braun
But
Breaker.
Chelsea is just beyond entertaining every time she's
You
on
mean Braun
camera.
Breaker, not Bronson Reed?
Braun Breaker.
Bronson
Reed's
What,
got
did I
no
say
ankles.
Bronson Reed?
Yes.
Yeah, that's,
I
they're-
miss him too.
they're rebuilding him.
Yeah, they
I miss him
3D
too.
they 3D printed him
He's
some
gonna
new
be a $6
angles.
million man.
Bro, what if he comes back like shredded?
Ozempic,
That'd be the-
baby.
Yeah, that would be so funny.
Coming
Uh,
back like 220 pounds.
yeah, with those cheekbones poking out and shit.
While he
His
was
face
gone,
looks
he
like
was
that.
on Ozempic.
Yeah, it was so great.
Yeah.
I think there's a problem with some of the titles in WWE. I appreciate, and this is a criticism that people have of Tony Khan too, for title reigns going on a little bit longer than they should because there's like a fucking plan in place and they don't want to stray from the plan. Triple H is an old school guy and has the old school philosophy of champions should have long championship reigns. And you don't want to be like WCW in the year 2000, where you had 26 different people, including vacating the title as a title change in over the course of like 8 months. So he doesn't want to do that. He wants to give long reigns. But the problem is now he's stretched a lot of shit since last year, since last summer, since last WrestleMania. And like, I bring it up all the time. There was a point where Hogan in the summer lost the WCW title at Road Wild to Lex Luger, and then he won it back on a Nitro like a week or two later. But Lex got like the title got off Hogan for a little bit. Cody could have lost the title over the summer and got it back over the winter or at the Rumble or something. Or there are a couple guys that could have just been freshened up by losing their title and going to a different place.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's going to be the question for me for Cody is how does he respond, both real life and the character of Cody Rhodes? How does that character respond to losing the championship? Because everything is predicated on him finishing the story. Well, he finished the story and then you lost the title. So what's your new? Do you have a new story? What are we doing here? You know what I mean? So that's going to be the question for him.
Dave Abbey, what was the point of Dakota beating Ivy Nile if it was just going to end up being Lyra versus Ivy anyway? Well, that's another great question.
There's a plan in place. I don't know.
I mean, you would like to hope there is, but what is it? I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, I think they're setting up for Ivy to walk away with the belt. She's going to be the next
That's the
champion.
issue with the women's division, right? Like somebody said the other day, either someone in the chat or I've read that something about like the women are like the horsemen, the workhorses of the WWE. And I tell you what, man, the women have been put in excellent matches these days. But
Yeah.
regardless of the match they put on, they give them no storytelling, no longevity, no building. Like when was the last time you seen a rivalry in the women's division last 6 months outside of like the top two holding a belt, and not even, like they don't really do that for them, and I think they should develop something in there, like how do you not start a rivalry between Chelsea and her bodyguard and make her a face? Not Chelsea, meaning her Dewdrop or whatever her name that is now. Like you do something, and she doesn't have to
Well,
win the belt.
they shouldn't split them yet because this is so fresh with the whole United States champion. They should keep her as her bodyguard as long as possible, I think.
Yeah, but does she?
Maybe
have to
they have
keep
a
it?
match at Mania for the title.
But
Like Piper finally turns on her.
right, but I mean, don't you have to start spinning the wheels on that? Does she have a match at the Chamber or no? Chelsea?
You know what?
I don't think she does, right?
Hold on, I have the card pulled up actually. No, the only women's match is Tiffy and Trish versus Nia and Candice LeRae.
And then the women's chamber.
Well, and then the women's
Right,
chamber. Right.
but no singles matches or tag matches. Okay.
So how many do we get? Do we get 2, 3 women's matches in the night?
At Chamber, we have the women's chamber match and the
No,
Tiffy.
I'm saying overall. You think those would be it? That's it. Well, yeah, obviously the Chamber's down the street. That's true.
Yeah,
it's
they're
Saturday.
not adding anything. Well, I mean, they could add something.
She has a match
Friday
next
night,
week.
but yeah.
So I mean, do you mind going through the Chamber lineup right now?
Yeah, so we have the men's elimination chamber. So we got Cena, Punk, McIntyre, Logan Paul, Damian Priest, and Seth Rollins. I gotta go with John Cena or Seth Rollins.
I gotta go with Punk or Rollins.
Because I think they're going to set up Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre feud. I think they're going to have a Logan Paul CM Punk feud. And that would leave CM Punk versus Seth Rollins versus Cena.
I'm gonna make the crazy pick of Logan Paul, just because I think it'd be entertaining and piss everybody off.
I'd be okay with it.
I might boycott WrestleMania.
Oh boy, we got a new face in the comments.
Ronald Glenn over at YouTube. Logan Paul is winning that chamber.
Oh,
So
Ronnie with a
he
call.
agrees with Mitch. I'd be okay with it. I wouldn't hate it. Tara says it's going to be Cena.
I could see Cena. I could see Rollins. Logan Paul would be such a dark horse. Cena, gosh, I like the idea that Cena is having trouble getting the title match that he wants because he hasn't been back and hasn't been putting the work in. And it would be really cool to find a way for him to earn that match, maybe aside from the chamber, kind of like the Trials of Hercules, where he has to defeat a certain number of guys and whatever, and he gets his fucking title match. But if they're not doing that, then listen, and if you asked me this in 2005, you would get a different answer. But it's 2025. John Cena should be in one of those world title matches at WrestleMania, and goddamn, he probably should win it. I hate to be that guy. I never thought I would be in a position as a grown adult to be like John Cena needs to be in the main event of WrestleMania. But if he's retiring, and honestly, what the fuck is Cody doing anyway?
So Ronnie over at YouTube says that he'll become the corporate champion, which I could honestly see that. And then you got Dave Abbey saying it'd be the worst main event ever, and you have Ronnie asking, is it?
So wait, Dave is saying that Cody versus Logan would be the worst ever.
I believe so, yeah. I actually think it would be a decent match.
It'll probably be a decent match.
Logan Paul, listen, I say it all the time. As much as you could hate Logan Paul, he delivers in matches.
Yeah, but the depth of a story from Logan Paul with Cody Rhodes right now, I don't think it makes enough sense. They haven't had enough rubbing up the elbows, if I may say.
Well, that's why what makes the most sense is what I said earlier, is that Punk, they've already been teasing Punk versus Logan Paul. So to me, I think that's what's happening. Ronnie over at YouTube, Cody versus Logan was already a good match, but so many eyes would be on the product. He's not wrong. I said that last week too, that at the end of the day, if you're in a match or a feud with Logan Paul, that's what social media is going to talk about because of the insane amount of followers and reach he has on social media. So I don't disagree with Ronnie at all.
I was gonna say, I think it's at the end of March that
No
his
problem.
reality show that's supposed to come out with his brother. So you'll have
Oh,
a lot of people watching.
and that could be a
There you
Yeah,
go. I
but
didn't even know they had a
I
show
don't think
coming up.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to put it. Do you need to put Logan Paul in the main event and have a lot of people watch?
no.
They're
but-
gonna watch regardless.
Yeah, but that's not right now. That's not the philosophy of the WWE. The philosophy of the WWE is we want our show to have so many pop culture people appear so that casual people who don't watch wrestling will watch the big events. Like that's why they put all those Netflix people in the audience at the Netflix thing. And why they were even using Logan Paul, because he's got a big name, and then they use the other streamers who also have big names. So they're trying to get people who watch streamers who might not necessarily watch wrestling to convert into wrestling fans.
Ronnie over at YouTube, Logan proved that he can listen to Ray call spots and be a safe worker, which again is true.
It's great. Yeah, he's not bad.
I Show Speed, KSI, Jake Paul.
Kai Cenat from
Yep.
Skibbity Riz, Ohio.
Crazy
Yeah.
numbers. I mean, he's not wrong. He helps
Yeah.
them get the reach that they want.
But do I see a world in where Logan Paul main events WrestleMania or wins a world championship?
I could see him winning a world champion. I don't know that he would main event a WrestleMania.
I could only see him cashing in a Money in the Bank after like what Edge did to Cena in that first time in 2006.
See, but I'd be good with that too. The heat that he would get for cashing in a Money in the Bank briefcase
it would be,
would be
that would
insane.
be, yeah, you could cut it with a knife.
Yeah, it would be great. Moving on. We have the women's chamber. So you got Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Naomi, and Roxanne Perez. I'm going out. I'm going to tell you my opinion. Your final two are going to be Alexa Bliss and Roxanne Perez. And I think you got a very good chance because of the Wyatt Six. Alexa Bliss wins that chamber match.
That would be great.
I'm on board with Alexa.
I have Blitz winning. Isn't what's her name in it? Liv?
Yeah.
She is, but
I
she
think
she
it's
just
I
won the
think it's
tag
Liv
team.
and Alexa.
The fact that Liv just regained the tag match, and I feel like that's gonna set her up for something else. You got Bianca,
Right.
You got Jade coming back soon, so I
Yeah,
feel
but
like
she won't
something's
win.
gonna happen with them and Naomi. So that kind
I
of
don't think
sets.
they're gonna win. I just think Liv is the bigger star to be at the end to make it look more credible in order for what's her name to win.
I mean,
Because-
they've been pushing the hell out of Roxanne Perez lately. She, broke a Mania record or a Royal Rumble record.
Right.
I could see her being in the final two, and Alexa Bliss just came back, and now that they're teasing this whole thing with her and the Wyatts again, it'll be interesting. Ronnie says Bianca Belair's his pick. WWE has been rumored to want Bianca and Rhea to fight.
I've
I
seen
mean, listen, I would be totally okay with that matchup.
Right.
But you have to
Hell
also
of a
be
match.
prepared to turn Bianca heel at that point, right? Because you're not going to turn Rhea right now.
She did say in an interview this week that she would be willing to turn heel if the situation was like interesting to her. She didn't want to do it just to do it.
I mean, makes sense, right? Because she's a very credible face right now. So
Exactly, and you don't want
unless
to burn
it's something
that.
that gives me a long run, I wouldn't want to do it either. You know what I'm saying?
This leads right into Dave's question, though.
Do we think it was Liv and Raquel that took out Jade? Honestly, I think it's going to come
I don't
out
think
that
so.
it was
Hell no.
Naomi and Bianca.
Right, absolutely.
I
And
think it was
that's
just Naomi herself.
Right.
Could have been that too.
Because
I
Bianca
think
was in the ring. Remember?
Well, but that doesn't mean that her and Naomi planned
didn't
it.
set it up.
Could have been in
Right.
cahoots, right? But I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know.
My only thing is Raquel and Liv didn't seem to really deny it, though.
Yeah, but they did it admit
Well, no,
it.
they don't care. They
Right.
said they said they would. They don't care if what happened to her. They're like, even if we did do it, who cares?
Well, that's true.
So
Yeah, they left
they
a
didn't
little bit
admit
of
to it, but they didn't deny it.
doubt. I think it's going to be, this is coming down as Stone Cold getting hit by a car. We're all being led one way, and it's going to go another. And I think like Steve, it's going to end up being either Naomi with influence from Bianca or Naomi doing it because she saw Bianca's potential being wasted or blah, 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 whatever justification she'll come up with.
Dave Abbey, that could be the way they turn Bianca heel.
Exactly.
Which is true, too. I mean, that's the perfect setup. Cody will address The Rock's offer. Ronnie says Bianca did it for The Rock.
Yeah, right. That would be
For the
so.
people.
Oh man, if Naomi did it for, it would all make sense if she did it for The Rock. Then she could join the Bloodline.
I'd be okay with her wearing a thong. But she's not a fatty. Cody Rhodes addresses The Rock's offer. I mean, again, I don't think he accepts the offer.
No.
No way. That's CM Punk's job.
Yeah, Cody's gonna remind everybody about his dad. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but Cody's dad was Dusty Rhodes. Do you remember, like, the NWA champion Dusty Rhodes? Like, that was I had no
Really?
idea until, like,
Wow.
he mentioned it every single promo that it was his dad.
Right.
That's
And then
true.
he's gonna say that, and then he's gonna be like, "I'm not taking the offer because my dad was a whatever blue collar son of a plumber." He's not gonna take it. There's no way right before WrestleMania Cody's turning heel. It's just not happening.
Yeah, it would definitely have to happen at or after Mania.
Yeah.
And that's a big if it
Big
even
if.
happens. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. Unsanctioned match, which is just another glorified way of saying no DQ. That match is going to be insane.
Kevin Owens.
I'm going with Kevin Owens.
You have to, right? Because wasn't Sami Zayn paralyzed 2 weeks ago with a contusion in the vertebrae and the
Right?
left
Yeah.
spine cord, whatever.
How great was that Kevin Owens promo from outside Sami Zayn's house? It was so great.
Fucking savage. I here and the reason I think he's going to take it is, correct me if I'm wrong. The last time they had a match, a one-on-one, was their big blow off singles match was like a SummerSlam. I want to say it was 2016 or 2017, and it was a regular old singles match, and Sammy won clean with like 3 haluva kicks and pinned Kevin clean. So I feel like Kevin gets the win here, but because especially because it's an unsanctioned match, it gives Sammy an out that he's not going to lose clean. Kevin's going to package pile drive him through like a fucking school bus that's on fire or something, and that's how he's going to win. And Sammy, you go, well, Sammy put up a good fight, but you can't.
It's definitely going to be one insane, stupid spot.
It's because there was the one I remember all the times was, do you guys remember when Kevin Owens set up a fucking pyramid of steel chairs, and I think he tried to throw John Cena into him, and it got reversed, and he takes his stupid bump into a pyramid full of chairs, standing like from the ring apron.
I do recall
outside. Kevin Owens is a wild man.
I mean, the way they're talking is it obviously blood, but there will be a lot of pain involved with blood.
Yeah, it's gonna be, especially those guys. If you
know
go
what?
back and watch their old ladder wars and all those matches from Ring of Honor, holy shit! I was there. It was Seth Rollins' last match as Ring of Honor champion in the main event, but as the match right before intermission was the co-main event, and it was those guys were in a tag team match, like a tables, ladders, and chairs kind of match, and beat the ever loving shit out of each other. And it's just whenever they get imagine these guys are your best friends.
Yeah, they're going to beat the
And
shit
they're
out of
beating
each
the
other.
shit out of each other.
You know what I was thinking? This could be a new intro to what our whatchamacallit matches are going to look like. Our no holds barred or disqualification matches. Let's see how ruthless Netflix is going to get. Well, it's not Netflix. Never mind.
Still
It's
going to be on
Peacock.
Peacock,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
never mind.
Ronnie over at YouTube, why isn't Kevin Owens champion again? I mean, you know what, dude? That's a very fair question because
Very.
they should have. If there was going to be a quick loss of the title with Cody,
Yeah.
it should have gone to Kevin and then have Cody win it back.
He should have actually. Kevin Owens should have actually won the world title at Saturday night's main event, or they should have done something where there was like a double pin, like their shoulders were down. Something where when Kevin's carrying around that winged eagle, it feels like he's actually the champion, and he like
I love
and they,
that belt
you
so
know,
much better.
and it looks so good. Yeah, and I think he could have. There should have been a period of time where he was the champion and Cody was not, and Kevin would wear the winged eagle belt, and then they'd still do the match with the two belts hanging up, and then Cody could win it back and get his fucking momentum back. But it didn't make any sense to me the way that they built up Kevin Owens so credibly and made him a threat, and then once again the same that he's done with Roman Reigns 1,000 fucking times. He just loses. Like he puts 120% in, and it's great because you think he's going to win, and then you finally have faith. Like this is the time they're going to pull the trigger on Kevin Owens, and he just breaks your heart every time.
Ronnie says, "Why bring back the winged eagle just to make it disappear?" Well, listen. To be fair, they were only supposed to bring it back for that one night as a special entrance for Cody at the pay-per-view, and then it turned into this. If it was up to me, I would bring the winged eagle back as the primary title.
Absolutely.
100%. And the old school one with the chrome, with the silver and the gold in it.
The two-tone,
the double plated two-tone.
Also, going back to Kevin cutting that promo outside of Sami Zayn's house, Dave Abbey, Swerve did it better.
Well, he burned the whole house down.
And then Ronnie says, Swerve was an Epstein with it breathing over the baby crib.
Oh,
yeah,
dude,
it was a little more sadistic.
That one was crazy. And then Hangman was the one that burned the house down, not Swerve. Shit.
And last, you got Tiffy time and Trish versus Nia and Candice. I mean, I don't see how on any planet Tiffy and Trish don't win that match.
Right. They absolutely should win that match.
Yeah. Especially after what just happened where Nia squashed the two of them. So, I'm sure those two are going to get over. Tara's watching NXT. I hate how they changed Ricky Stark's name to Ricky Saints. Actually, I think that's a perfect switch. And there's a lot of meaning behind Saints.
Well, because he's from New Orleans, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a tribute to the Saints and this and that. He's not going to be able to be Ricky Starks, so it's the closest thing you're going to get. So I don't have a problem with it.
I just wanted to race NASCAR with like a Wonder Bread sponsorship now, like Ricky Bobby. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Oh, that's so funny.
Let's see, but we got all those. Yeah, and Tara was right. The part of Cody's split with AEW is that they wanted him to turn heel and he didn't want to. So I feel like he's not gonna. No matter what, on Friday when Cody comes out, he's not going, "Yes, sir, Rock, I accept your offer. I will be your corporate champion." That's just not happening.
Ronnie over at YouTube, I have a problem with the music though. Ricky Bobby, that is.
I haven't heard his new music yet. I liked the AEW jazz music. Oh, I love that.
The theme music is still an ongoing issue in WWE.
I think he should come out of Dove's Cry.
Oh,
It's like a perfect song for him.
Yeah, if he came out
With
to
the Jerry girl.
Yes, he comes out to a Prince song that would make so much sense.
Dum,
Oh,
dum, dum, dum.
something else we should talk about as we're getting to the top of the hour. So it definitely sounds like at any time now we are going to have another addition to the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I do think we got a good shot at Aleister Black. That's the
For
only name
Judgment
I
Day?
keep hitting. Yeah.
Judgment Day?
It's the only thing that makes sense.
Correct. It can't be Rusev Day. Like, that'd be weird.
Yeah, it would be weird.
Is there anybody with talent? And do you guys watch NXT? Anybody with talent?
I
in
love
NXT
that.
makes sense.
I want that embroidered on a pillow. Is there anyone in talent? Anybody with talent in NXT? Al.
Sincerely,
They have a lot of good talent in NXT right now.
I'm saying someone that fits the mold. That's what I really meant to say. I
No.
apologize
Yeah.
to NXT talent. You
No.
guys are all talented.
Aleister Black is in my mind what makes the absolute most sense.
I have a question. Is Jerry crossover we're not thinking since we have a TNA merger? Because that would be interesting. If somebody fits that mold, you bring over like a
From
holy
TNA.
shit moment with the
I don't know.
swerve.
No, I
That'd be
don't know. I think Aleister Black makes sense. And I've also seen, like, I guess in the background during, like Finn and Dom were on screen, and there was one of the monitors behind Finn was showing a picture of the demon, like Finn with the demon face paint on, and maybe because this is usually what happens with Aleister Black, he comes over and he mists somebody in the face with the black mist, and then like they change, their personality changes. That was like his thing in AEW and WWE. So maybe he hits
the whole thing.
I think Aleister Black kicks Finn out of the Judgment Day and takes over as the leader, hits him with the fucking mist, and then you don't see him for a little while, and then Finn comes back as the demon, and that's Aleister Black's like first big feud.
I could get
There are no
behind
leaders
that.
in the Judgment Day.
Well,
So
there is
say.
one leader. Her name's Liv Morgan. She's the one. That's the leader.
Yes, she is. Exactly.
I feel like
And if you think about it, there's been a leader since day one, because it was Edge, then it
Yeah.
was Mommy,
Yep.
now it's Liv.
It's always Liv.
Although Finn thinks it's him, but tomato.
Right.
Finn always
And I
thought it
think
was him, though. Which is why
They
he
got to get
kicked
rid of
out.
Carlito's got to go too. So I think Carlito's going to get kicked out. Carlito will get kicked out literally by that spin kick that he does. And then Finn is going to get the fucking Japanese black mist. That's my prediction, but we'll see. And, how about this one? New addition to the Judgment Day as those guys get kicked out, Karrion Kross and Scarlett.
Oh, so no, I
Judgment Day will automatically fail.
Really? Come on, he's on a roll right now. He's
On a
Karrion
roll of what? Bagels?
I am on. Listen, it took me a while, and not
Sorry,
that I've
Dave.
not been a fan. I'm on Dave's side. I think Karrion Kross deserves this. The name has been stupid. All the presentation for him has been rotten the last couple of years. But this guy, he's a hard worker, and I like him. And
I
want
love
him-
Karrion
It's
Kross.
great. He's
I've
just
always
a-
been a big fan of
No,
him.
no,
They've
no. I think
screwed
he's
him.
good.
They've screwed him so bad. Ronnie over at YouTube, I think Aleister Black needs to get his eye back from Rollins, then we can talk.
That would be so funny.
Oh my
What
god.
if he has it in a jar?
That would be funny.
They put the fucking jar with a floating eyeball on the thing for the ladder match. Jar on an eyeball on a pole match.
Jesus Christ. That would be very WCW-ish.
Were they able to push Rey Mysterio's eye back into his face, or is he got canonically does he have a glass eye in WWE?
I think
I
they
don't know.
pushed it back in the socket.
Okay, they just pushed it back in. All right, thank God for that. That was the stupidest. I hate that fucking pandemic programming was fucking rotten. They popped his eye out, and then Seth Rollins threw up like oatmeal. He was like, "Wah!" When he
I
threw
need
up,
to see
like,
Rollins dance to the ring with the jarred eye.
with Danhausen has teeth in the jar. Seth can have.
Dave Abbey, Cross has been interesting lately. He's always lurking in the background. He was behind AJ last night, which is true. They are setting something up for him.
Yeah.
It'll just be interesting to see exactly what it is.
I don't know. And again, this is the fucking Karrion Kross story in WWE. We say this every year or so. They're setting Karrion Kross up for something, and then they put him in a team with guys that they never show on TV, and then
They
they
always
release
get
those.
cut.
Yeah.
Everybody on this team gets cut.
Long live the kayfabe. Ray uses 2 different contact lenses since he lost his eye.
There we go. It discolored it.
That's right. Anybody have anything else that they want to bring up as we reach the top of the hour?
Tozawa had a great match, even though he got his ass beat.
He did.
He's great. He's a good guy. Like, he's a good wrestler.
Yo, he got murdered. The
Yo,
poor
that
guy.
first shot, I felt it.
Dave
I
Abbey, our
laughed
truth
my
comes
ass
back to
off.
run the Judgment Day.
Who does?
Our truth.
Oh, that'll be. I'll pay for that.
I would pay for that. What were you saying, Mitch?
Oh, just watching Gunther literally annihilate him. I was dying laughing on my couch.
He put up a good fight, though.
No, he did. Just that initial kick, it was just like, oh, this guy's going to die in the ring.
This guy's gonna die.
I no, if Aleister Black comes back to the Judgment Day and R-Truth runs into him, is he gonna be like, Undertaker, I thought you were retired? Like, what is he gonna say to him?
Oh, that would be funny.
Like, who's he gonna think that Aleister Black is? He thinks that Tommaso is Triple H. He thinks that he's got all these different. He thinks people are different people, so he's gonna confuse him. He's gonna confuse Aleister Black with somebody. I don't know who yet.
It'll be funny. Either way, it'll be funny. R-Truth is the best.
And I mean, he hasn't aged a day.
No, he looks exactly the same he did 25 years ago. It's crazy.
When he was in Head of State with Chris Rock.
That's right.
That's the first time I remember, or not the first time. I was like, is that K Quick or K Crush? Why is he the NWA champion in a movie with Chris Rock? But here we are.
R-Truth, we got to go get your eye. Says it to Aleister Black.
Yo,
That's
I
very
heard
funny.
all these people losing eyes. Class action. He's like, I got a class action lawsuit against Seth Rollins. Everybody that's lost an eye.
Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the top of the hour.
Madon. Yes, we have. Thank you guys for tuning in. We do this every Tuesday, 9 p.m. on Eastern Time. The best way to find it. It's streams live on Steve's Facebook page. It streams live on the Tag Me a Date Facebook page, the kind of page that you have to like or follow. And then it also streams on the Tag Me a Date YouTube page. And the best way to find the Facebook is to type Tag Me a Date in your search bar and hit enter, and then hit that big old thumbs up, and then go to YouTube. If you want to go to YouTube, youtube.com, Tag Me a Date, hit the enter button. You'll find our page. Hit subscribe, and then hit the bell to get notified when we go live or upload a new video. And again, we go live Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And we also have social media. Most of our social media is at Tag Me a Date with no spaces. It's all one word. You'll find us on X/Twitter, whatever you want to call it. We're on Instagram with that handle. We're on, well, that's our Facebook as well. It's our YouTube as well. The TikTok is different. It's TikTok. Was it the War Report podcast, or how is it? What is it, Steve?
The War Report. I think it's the War Report After Dark.
On TikTok?
I think so.
All right, cool. So yeah, I mean, you'll find us, and then we post like reels and shorts and all that after the show.
Oh no, it's probably just War Report podcast.
War Report podcast on TikTok. Cool. So yeah, you just go. We'll post shorts and reels so you can see what's been going on throughout the week. You get caught up if you missed it. If you prefer, you can always go back to the Facebook page or to the YouTube page and just click on the live streams and watch an episode that you might have missed. The best way, just, like I said, is to like or subscribe to the page, and, you'll get notified when we go live. But if you prefer an audio version, you're a podcast listener instead of the video stream, you can go subscribe on your favorite podcast app, Stitcher, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play Podcast, Apple Podcast. You type in Tag Me a Date, The War Report, you hit that search button. Excuse me, it'll pop up. It'll have our graphic, the logo, and it'll say Steve and Vince and all that stuff. And it'll say, by the description and the icon that's next to it, you'll know that it's us. Hit subscribe. And Ryan's nice enough to take the audio from this episode and put it up on a podcast version so you can take it with you wherever it is, in the car or the gym or whatever it is you're doing where you're listening to a podcast. We just want to thank everybody for coming in today in the comments. Wow, we had a ton of comments today. Thank you much. Of course, David came in nice and early. Tara was in here with us. And Dave A coming in with the Karrion Kross defense. And the new guy, Ronnie, looks like Ronnie might be from Canada based on the logo. But then again, David has the Expos logo, and he's not from Canada. So I've been fooled once before by you tricksy Canadians or fake Canadians. But thank you guys for coming. Yeah, because he has the Expos icon for a long time. I was like, "Oh, David, you must be in Montreal." He goes, "No, I'm in California." He did. You did come into the guy. You came all over those comments, buddy.
No,
come back. Come back next week if you had fun. Let your friends know. The more, the merrier. We usually ramp up around this time of year because we're heading straight towards WrestleMania, and then WrestleMania is when we get our most views and listens throughout the year. So this is the best time to kind of drop in, and it's the best time to drop in on wrestling too. This is between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania is like the playoffs. It's the March Madness or whatever you want to call it. This is the time to watch. So we'll be here for the ride. We'll be here every Tuesday, 9 p.m. on Eastern time. So if you're a new listener or one of our stalwarts that's been around for a long time, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next week, 9 p.m. Eastern time with another edition of the War Report After Dark. Have a great week, everybody.